I was feeling for you is honestly for this month, the financial situation, just get a handle on it. I do feel that for a lot of you, if you're looking for new work and things like that, there will be work coming through. It might not be the first options that you're looking for or are thinking about, but I do feel that it has potential. So don't be too fast to dismiss something that might not seem, like everything is cracked up to be at first glance. So prejudgment is something that you're going to have to try to curb for this month because we have a lot of good things coming through, okay? The other thing I'm sensing is attachment to money. For those of you who have, been who have unhealthy attachments to money, this is basically, battling away, getting, trying to, do jobs that you don't enjoy, mainly because you want to create that financial security for yourself. And I feel like this is the month in which those problems regarding dissatisfaction in how you make money, or just the whole idea of changing your paradigm, changing your outlook when it concerns money, and thinking about, that money is really, in fact, a means to achieve other things, and that money is not an end in itself. So I hope that makes sense. So I feel that that's a major, major lesson coming through for a lot of you. So a lot of you might have, worked yourself very hard at the expense of your health, at the expense of your relationships, not spending enough time with people and that are dear to you, just because you were constantly working overtime, for example, or you were in situations where you forego sleep, a healthy diet, exercise, and things like that in the pursuit of money. And I know that's a grim message, but I feel like all of those negative attributes, or at least associations that we have to money, they are going to be brought up for re-examination for this month, so that you can make better choices moving forward, or at least to get out of current work situation and find something that is more meaningful, that is more fulfilling for you emotionally and on a spiritual and a soul level as well, okay? So I think that anytime we have a paradigm shift, it's usually a good thing. So I feel this is something coming through. It might have been something you were thinking about, last month during the eclipse season, but it's being brought up so that you can take practical steps to change these things and to create the life that you want, okay? I also feel as well that when it comes to relationships as well, there's a lot of work that needs to be done to mend relationships. And this is basically, I feel like it's very, very positive. So, it's going to be very beneficial for you, for all of you, I feel, to think about, what is important in life. Think about these big questions. What it is that you need to be happy on an emotional, spiritual level, and where it is that you want to be headed, all right? It's going to be a very, very good month. First of all, let's talk about the first cluster. We have the Six of Wands and the Princess of Swords. This is your public image. There's a lot of success financially. There's a lot of, I feel like for a lot of you, you work very hard to get where you are, and at a point in your life where you're basically at the apex when it comes to like getting the right accolades, getting the reception, the very, very positive reception being sought for your skills and expertise. Now, the Six of Wands indicates major victory, and this is a victory where, you can be in the public eye, you're getting a lot of fame and recognition. It doesn't indicate financial success, though, okay? So think about that, and think about how that relates to the initial message that I brought up, which is that you have to think about your attachments with money. Money doesn't always equal success, and I feel for some of you, you're starting to come to this realization that, it is a means to an end and not an end in itself. So in the process of going through life just seeking financial security and an abundance, you're not going to be happy. So this is a card about long-term success, and it's linked up here with the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is about the whole process of accumulating knowledge, of knowing areas in ourselves that we are lacking, so that we can learn, so that we can enhance ourselves, our knowledge base, so that we can fill in those things that we feel we are lacking, okay? So for example, If you're more of a English, liberal arts inclined person, and you feel that, your accounting skills, your math skills are not that great, you might want to take a few courses to brush up on, I don't know, trigonometry, calculus, or something like that. So this is a card about strategy. It's basically looking at areas in our lives, knowledge base. It deals more with mental processes, communication, and things like that, looking at areas that we might be intellectually lacking and trying to our best to make ourselves more well-rounded, because we are starting to see that in terms of creating success for ourselves, we have a lot of a lot of skills, a lot of assets. We also have things that we might be lacking that might hinder our achievement of success. So it's basically telling you that for this month, the energy where you are thinking about long-term success, you are doing some type of planning in order to achieve that solid success for the long term, for to maintain yourself in this situation. It's going to be very beneficial for you. Okay, so it's also like doing some type of coursework or upgrading your skills, and you're basically planning things out long term so that you can achieve this ultimate success. Okay, it's a very good energy, and it's headed in the positive direction. The next two cards basically deals with areas in our lives where we are um, being on guard about. All right, so the Nine of Wands is a card about vigilance. This is a card about perseverance. You've been through a lot, and I feel for a lot of you, I do sense that I do feel some type of long-standing battle. It's almost over. Okay, so this is the 9. When we get to the 10, it's pretty much the end of the cycle. This is like you're on that very last leg of the journey, and you're almost there. So it's telling you to persevere, push through it, don't give up. In the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's a card about vigilance, where you're taking a repose away from fighting, so that you can recuperate your strength, so that you can, fight another day. But it's telling you that don't give up yet. You're almost on top of that hill, and you're going to reap the benefits. Okay, so don't give up on anything. Don't sell yourself short, and especially fight through it. It is worth fighting for. What's linked up with it is the Lovers, and the Lovers is a romantic relationship. So there is something significant in your life right now, a person that you have a very strong physical connection with. And this is telling you that, push through it. A lot of the times, when it comes to physical attraction, when it comes to having a very strong emotional connection with somebody, it stems from a soul connection, and it basically brings people together where two people, they might be geographically distant, separated, they might be constrained by just geography, they might be constrained by the things in their lives that make them very different. And there might be interference as well from other people. So if you've been in some type of a relationship where you feel very, very, you feel a sense of camaraderie with another person, but there has been a lot of life challenges or a lot of interference coming through from another person that's preventing the relationship from stabilizing, it's telling you don't give up on it. Persevere, figure out, like, plan some strategy, figure out how you can make this work so that you can achieve the love and the relationship that you want. All right. The next cluster we're dealing with, once again, is a blast from the past. We do have Mercury in retrograde. I believe it is starting on the 28th of this month, but the shadow period lasts about a week and a half before that. So it's usually when Mercury in retrograde happens, it's basically a gateway for the past to come back so that we can re-examine it, so that we can overcome, or we can learn the lessons and move on, or we can fix things that we didn't have the knowledge and the skills to fix and to stabilize the first time. Okay, so you have the Six of Cups, which indicates a very, very strong soul connection with another person. We have the Lovers here, as well as the Six of Cups, which indicates to me this is going to be a very, very relationship oriented type of month. Now the Lovers card is also a card about decision, choices. It's also about, do I pursue the person I love even though they might not be stable, or do I pursue somebody who is more stable even though I don't have the same type of soul connection, the same types of love? So you have some major decisions here. I do feel that it is linked up with, do I want to, it's linked up with like love and success. Which direction do you want to go? All right. So once again, coming back to that whole first initial message about money and things like that, I do feel that a lot of the relationships that have happened in your life I feel like you're coming to the point where you feel that they might have been affected by your work, and I feel like they might have been negatively affected by your work, or you are letting your work affect your relationships, like interpersonal relationships. So this is something to think about, really think about for this month, and to really think about what is the end goal here? What is it that you're hoping to achieve, and what is it that's going to bring you emotional and spiritual fulfillment so that you can head in the right direction, all right? And I feel that there is some strategy that needs to be laid out. Have a game plan, because one does not, occur at the doesn't have to occur at the expense of the other. So you can achieve them both. It just requires strategy, all right? So once again, we do have this blast from the past. You have somebody coming back into your life. It is linked up here with the Queen of Swords, which is an air sign. Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. This is a very, very strong spiritual connection. There is a lot of interference. So in this deck, you can see there is a figure in the back. You also have the Lover's card, which also indicates with external influences hindering the progress of a significant relationship. So there is somebody in your life. She or he can be an air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. This is somebody who's very logical, who's very cerebral, somebody who is a great strategist. They might seem a little bit unwieldy and like it seems as if when you interact with them, because you're a water sign, you're dealing with an air sign, and air signs are not very expressive and affectionate when it comes to their emotions. It takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of like familiarity for them to open themselves up, for them to give you, the affection, the warmth that you're looking for. So I feel that there might have been warmth and love and affection missing in this relationship, but I feel like on a soul level, that they do care about you a lot. This is a very strong karmic bond as well. So I do feel something is being brought up for re-examination, possibly even a retry or a go over, like a do-over. So just, look at the situation and think about if it's worth it for you, because I feel like it can be very good for you. I feel like this person is in your life for you to force you to think about, honestly, to think about strategy. Okay, this is more about planning long term, having a game plan. They are also somebody who gives very, very good advice. This is somebody who's been through a lot, and they know about life's challenges. They know about human nature, and they're very good at giving you solid, practical advice without strings attached, without, swaying a situation in their favor. They do want to give you solid, concrete advice, okay? So take their advice to heart, and I feel that it's going to be very beneficial for you, and they can give you very good advice as well. On the love front, I do sense, because you're a water sign, you're interacting with this energy. This energy is telling you more to think with your head, and to also be very, very firm and logical and, resolute, and stick with it. So it's not all about talking. It's about, sticking to it and executing your plans, okay? Because what's coming in next here, we do have the Alchemist, which is the Magician, and the Eight of Pentacles. The Magician is somebody who is very, very intelligent. So I feel like this is the, once again, it's the whole strategy, having a game plan, thinking about the next phase in your life, and not just thinking about it, just, in the short run, but thinking about long term, what it is that you're trying to achieve, how you're going to get there, what's the smartest way to get there. This is a card that deals with potential, and it deals with intelligence, it deals with craftiness, it deals with basically being resourceful. So at this point, it's telling you, Cancers, you have everything that you need in your life to create the future that you want. You don't have to be bound to the past. You don't have to like struggle for money. You don't have to, whatever negative associations that you have about, am I good enough for this person? Am I good enough for this job? Am I smart enough? Do I have like what it takes to do this job and do it well? Can I land that promotion? All of these things that you're thinking about when it comes to your public image, when it comes to the life that you want to create, when it comes to the career track, all of these questions are coming back up, and it's basically telling you you do have all the skills that you need, okay? There might be areas, we are all humans. We can't be the jack of all trades, but there might be areas that you're lacking. And going back to school would be very beneficial for you when this card shows up. It's basically reassessing everything that we have and trying to upgrade our skills and trying to figure out areas that we might be lacking so that we can fill in those gaps, knowledge gaps, etc. It is also linked up here with the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is a card about working very, very diligently. It's a card of monotony. It's a card about working very, very hard. And you have this sense of stick-to-itiveness. That is very good, but at the same time, you're building a way, like you're spending your time building all of these things, and everything is done in a very systematic manner. And it's linked up with the Magician, so it's telling you, are you happy with the monotony of this job, or do you want to be in a managerial position? And of course, everyone is going to say, of course, they don't want to slave away. They do want more of a middle management, top management type of position because there's money involved. However, so take the money out of this, take the prestige, the money out of this situation, and just think about how can you get here to here? What are some of the shortcuts, or what are some of the things that you need to do to get there? And I feel like because both of these cards are coming out together, there might be temptation for you to cut corners in what you're doing. There might be that temptation, so try to curb that temptation, okay? It's also telling you that a greatness, achievement comes at the expense of hard work, diligence, and that sense of stick-to-itiveness. So I do feel for those of you who are trying to make your mark in the world, to become like the alchemist, you are going to have to put in the initial hard work in order for you to achieve to get the recognition, to gain the achievement that you're hoping for. At the same time, it's telling you as well to work smart and think things out, plan things out long term so that you can achieve the life that you want, okay? It's a little bit of a mixed bag, so I feel like I'm talking to two people. There are the ones that have achieved a lot of I feel like you've achieved a lot of greatness in life, and at this point you're kind of like on top of the heap, and you're going out and you're trying to find emotional fulfillment, which is great. And there are others of you who might have had relationships that were very, very beneficial, but for some reason you might have forgo them in order to go out and devote your time to money, to achieve like success in the outer world. So finding a middle ground is going to be something very important for you, and just know that you can have it all. One thing does not have to exist at the expense of something else. Learn to be a little bit more holistic, and I feel like, incorporating, having a strategy, having a game plan, and things like that would be very beneficial for you. For those of you thinking about returning to school, it is prime time, so, start your applications. It's, you're heavily supported here, okay? Now, let's look at the advice position. And first of all, the advice and the theme for you to focus on, and we have a lot of cups energy, is the Ten of Pentacles, the Ten of Cups, which deals with the apex of human emotional experience. So this is like a very, very positive card. It deals with like family completion. It deals with a state of being, of feeling and being very elated and very joyful, optimistic, and happy with life. So I feel like, it's linked up with your success, but more than anything, it's not the success. The success is internal. The success is basically about, knowing what we're worth, what we're capable of, and having other people recognize that in us. There's a lot of pride coming through for a lot of you in the public eye. So you're also feeling very good about yourself, and you're in a position where others are looking up to you. You're also getting a lot of recognition from the people that you love. And I know with cancers, it's not just the public recognition, it's mainly being looked up to by the people that you love that really matters to you. And you know, your home and your heart and the hearth of the home, those are things that are very special to you. So I feel like for those of you who are have achieved a lot of success in the world, you're at a point right now where you are looking for love, and it's telling you to steer in this direction. The advice cards are basically telling you the direction that you should be headed. And this is basically get back to the rudimentary, which is the family unit, the social connections, emotional connections that you have with the people that you love, that you care for, that you consider family. They're the ones that are going to give you very, very solid advice, and they're the ones that are going to appreciate you and pick you up when you're down, and they're going to accept you no matter what. Okay. In terms of other advice coming through, we do have a little bit of a scattered energy. We do have a lot of temptation coming through as well. You have a person coming back from the past. You might have somebody who is very, very high status that you are looking up to right now. So I feel for a lot of you, there might be temptations when it comes to the work environment, and especially when it comes to love relationships. Okay, so we have somebody that is potentially a very, very high power, like they're in the public environment. You might look up to them. You might like I feel you very enamored and smitten by somebody in a status of, in a position of power, which you want to really re-examine if the affection, if the admiration you feel for them is because of their position, because of their status, because you look up to them, or if there is a strong, you know, emotional connection. And it's, the cards are telling you to go with the strong emotional connection, because that's going to last a lifetime, whereas, you know, the status, the prestige, the veneer, the glamour is not going to last when you have jarring emotional or, you know, just habitual like differences. Okay, so think about that. So the Seven of Cups deals with temptation. It deals with scattered energy, and it deals with looking at life through like through rose tinted glasses as well, but looking at all the possibilities. So a lot of doors are opening up in your life. You have, like I mentioned, you have opportunities for greatness, for possibly even returning to school. It's a matter of right now, like you're kind of like on that threshold where you're trying to decide what you're planning to do for the next few years of your life. So you're hitting major decision points, and I do feel at this point you have a lot of possibilities opening up. So, you know, it's important to choose wisely. But this is a very, very optimistic card. And the other advice coming through is think about the family, think about your upbringing, think about the values that you were cultivating, or the values that were transmitted to you from the family unit, and don't do things that are dishonorable. Okay, this is a card about gaining at somebody else's expense, and a lot of the times, you know, it can play out in mundane ways, such as dating somebody or being interested in somebody who is in another relationship. For example, we want that person because, you know, we can't have that person, for example. It can play out in a way where I guess, you know, like in a more negative way, where you're doing something you're not supposed to, and you do it because you know that you won't get caught. So it can be insidious in that regards. But the point here is you have many, many temptations, you have many opportunities. So just make sure that you follow your values, family values, you follow your conscience, that moral compass that's guiding you. That's going to take you a long way, okay? So those are the messages that I'm sending, I'm seeing for you, and I do feel that there is a person, definitely air sign, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra, coming back through that can provide a lot of insights for you. They're giving you a lot of food for thought, is what I'm sensing. I see you mulling it over, and I see that your world is enhanced by the options that they're giving you, okay? There is also indication here of hard work for the next 2 years, but you're going to really enjoy it. So if you are at a gateway and you have all these options lined up, and you have, options for instant gain, that might be risky, or you have options for diligent work, hard work within the next 2 years. Um, Go for the ones that require hard work, because I feel like it seems like hard work right now, and it seems like, 2 years, that's such a long time. But I feel that there are going to be very amazing surprises thrown in the mix for you that will make you quite happy, is what I'm sensing, because I feel like you've thought things out very clearly. You have some good advice, and at this point in your life, you're going to be okay. But I feel like there are a lot of good surprises in store for you if you choose the route that talks about, hard work paying off really, really wonderfully. There are going to, it seems like, 2, 3 years is a long time, but along the way, the universe is going to constantly give you signals that you're on the right path by throwing very pleasant surprises in your way, okay? As long as you're willing to work hard for it, all right? So overall, very positive month for you. So this is a month about strategy, planning, and things like that. Let's go into your love reading and see if there is air sign showing up. I'm not going to be reading reversals with this deck because it's a non-traditional deck. Sorry about that. These are new cards and they're still very, very slippery. I'm going to use that one. So you've got the Nine of Wands coming out again. Let's talk about this situation. So this is actually, that whole temptation concept is coming back in again, okay? So I want you to be very careful because we have the Fool and the Tower. First of all, let's talk about the Fool situation first. Yeah, let's talk about this first. So the Fool is basically embarking on a brand new journey, starting a new path in your life and being very, very optimistic. But at the same time, you can see in most depiction of the Fool, the person that is depicted in the card is about to walk off a ledge, okay? And there's a dog telling them that, just be careful. The point of this here is that there are many choices opening up for you. And it would be in your best interest to really think about long term what it is that you're hoping to achieve, and how this sense of optimism right now, it might make you feel a little bit invincible versus instant gratification, okay? Because we did have a lot of temptation coming through in the previous spread. So this is just a note of warning. What's coming through as well is it's telling you, when it comes to love situations, do not make a decision this month. It's good advice overall, mainly because we do have Mercury in retrograde, and the energy can open up, for people from the past to come through. It's also opening up areas in the past that would require us to re-examine, to heal up before we can get into new relationships. So on the love front, on the money front, on the school front, everything is a green light. On the love front, I feel that there's some rebuilding that needs to happen, okay? So the other thing I'm sensing here is we do have the Fool and then we have the Tower. The Tower card is basically a situation that has broken down and it needs to be rebuilt. Now, in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's basically things that are built on faulty foundation. Everything that we thought we knew about love, everything we knew about commitment, love, relationships, how much we are willing to sacrifice for other people, how much other people are willing to sacrifice for us. All of these things are being brought up for re-examination. Now, it's shown up with the Ace of Pentacles, so what I am inclined to say here is there has been some major awakening shakeups in your relationships, okay? And you're starting the rebuilding process, mainly because the foundation is the Ace of Pentacles, which is something that can be built upon. Something had to break down. It can be a current relationship. It can be a relationship partner from the past that is coming back in. The situation has been very problematic, and I feel that it broke down so that it can be rebuilt with better foundation, with better mutual understanding, with a better agreement and a reconnection and a commitment from both parties, okay? The Ace of Pentacles in your foundation is actually very positive. As a Pentacles card, it basically means it has longevity. It also indicates to me as well something had to break down so that it can be rebuilt. And I feel like for a lot of you, you might be rebuilding with the same person. You might have had some major like hashing out type of situation where you overcame a lot of barriers, where you overcame a lot, where, you know, things were coming out that you've held in, your partner might have held in. So there was some calamity, but it's being resolved and it's being rebuilt, okay? What I'm also sensing as well for those of you who are in coupled relationships, um, in like stable couple relationships, unfortunately I feel like there might be some kind of news coming through regarding you and that relationship partner. Obviously this is not going to apply for all. There might have been some type of reckless behavior that you're finding out about regarding your romantic partner. If you're in a stable relationship, I feel like, you know, it could be as simple as some health issues or some health concerns or something like that, or some falling out, combative energy within the family unit, interference in your relationship, okay? And I just want to emphasize that for a lot of you, you are with the right relationship partner, because the foundation to me basically means this is a bump in the road. Find ways to fix it and move forward, okay? Don't make a decision regarding love relationships for this month, because I feel that it's not in your best interest, okay? I also feel that you need some time to process these feelings if you are dealing with this, where you are experiencing a lot of aggravation, a lot of interference from third parties. You are on guard about this. It's telling you to hang on, fight another day, push through it, find a resolution. So don't make any drastic decisions right now for this month. But I feel like a lot of you might be in a good relationship, and it's just a bump in the road. And I'm not trying to downplay it by saying it's just a minor bump in the road, because the Tower is rarely that. But I do feel the foundation to me is very strongly. It's very strong, which indicates to me there can be a turnaround for the better. If you push through it, if you let your guard down, let your defenses down. And then if you learn from the past, which is if you have been reckless in the past, it's really important to, you know, chalk that up as a lesson well learned and don't let it repeat in the future. All right. If you're also in a position where, you know, you're dating the same types of people, or I feel like if you're dating the same types of people, or you're not like very vigilant about who it is that you're dating, if they have tendencies to be, you know, just very unreliable, I feel there is an element of risk here, so just be very careful when it comes to using protection and things like that, okay? Yeah, just be very careful about that, because with the Fool can also indicate reckless behavior, and with the Tower, it indicates some type of major crises relating to relationships. So, you know, just keep that into perspective. I'm not going to dwell on this, but I do feel that the foundation is very solid. So it's important for you to try to push through it, work and repair your relationships. On the other hand, I feel that for a lot of you, you might be dealing with an earth sign. The earth sign looks very positive to me because of this ace here, and I'm inclined to think that this is basically a God-given opportunity that is going to provide you with something stable, or a stable romantic love partner that can be very beneficial for you. I feel like the earth sign might be somebody brand new, that is coming through for you, and it has a lot of potential. And earth elements are very, very slow moving, so it might be the relationship might drag along for a period of time before it shows any sign of, culminating and coming to fruition. So it's telling you persevere, push through, and don't make any decisions regarding, oh, this is taking too long, maybe I should scrap this person. Don't do that yet, because you have something here that has a lot of potential, okay, potentially with an earth sign. For those of you who are dealing with a fire sign, and I'm mentioning the fire sign mainly because there's a lot of fiery energy, especially with this tower. The tower can also be, it's a bolt of lightning, so it deals more with a Uranian energy, so that can be more air as well. But let's talk about this first. There might be a person coming back from your past that you've had a long history with, and you might be on guard about this person. So don't make a decision just yet, okay? Not for this month. And I feel like when it comes to people coming back from our past, it requires a lot more research. It requires a lot of shifting things around in order to get that perfect fit. So if it's a person from the past, it's going to take more time, because obviously if it didn't work out the first time, make sure you are aware of, how have I changed, how have they changed, and how can things be better. So really reassess that situation and think about looking at a person from a different perspective, and looking at a situation and not acting as well. So waiting it out. I know it's a little bit frustrating, but I do feel that, a lot of things are coming to light. A lot of things, it's like the things you believe in are kind of like ripped out from under you. So you are going to have to rebuild. There's a whole rebuilding process. But the rebuilding process requires that you look at a situation from a different perspective, so that you can try to avert this in the future, but also to build a more solid foundation in the future so that it doesn't happen again, okay? So I feel like if it's a past person you're dealing with, it can work out. Just think about, though, realistically, how have you changed? How have they changed? How is this situation different this time? What are we going to do differently this time around as a unit, as a couple? So that's something to keep in mind. Once again, the cards are very, very solitary, except the Tower card. So I do feel that there might be some arguments, like bickering, and it's telling you to push through, don't act on it, don't do things out of anger, don't, slam doors and things like that when things get heated. So, take a step back and reassess the situation rather than have some type of blowout, because I feel like whoever you're with right now, there is a very strong, solid foundation for it, okay? So be patient, be understanding, be patient, be forgiving if you can. It's going to go well for you, because this is a solid relationship, partner coming through for you, okay? For those of you who are just going about out there dating, I do feel that you might be just, I hate saying this, but I almost feel like a sense of getting stood up. That's what I'm sensing. We have the Fool, which is, for those of you who are not attached at all, who are getting out there and starting to date, do it for the first 2 weeks. Take a break the second 2 weeks, because we have Mercury retrograde, and those are not good times for dating, because plans get canceled. So I feel some canceled plans coming in the works for those of you who are dating, unfortunately. But I do feel that you just want to be patient. The Hangman is like, being kept waiting, and then there is like argument. So I'm inclined to think that you've met somebody and you're feeling like very great that things are going to take off. I feel like things are not really taking off. They're being slowed down. There's like a de-escalation. So it's telling you to be patient, to be understanding of the other person. Don't get offended. They might be, they might be caught up with other things, car troubles, things in their house, and as a result they might cancel out on you. So just, ride it through, okay? Ride it through. And for those who are single, I feel like strong earth sign and fire signs coming through. Earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Fire signs: Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. All right, so I do wish you all the best. The financial situation looks good. And, just spend time with family, all right? I do feel it's good to like reconnect with people from the past during the Mercury retrograde period. Good people from the past, especially friends and family that you haven't seen in a while. Visit my website where you can schedule an appointment for yourself. It's provided in the description box, all right? I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.